Hey, what's going on, everybody? Big Country here, and welcome to my first coil making tutorial. I don't know how this is going to work out for me recording and such. It could be a train wreck, but hopefully by the end of this video you will learn what I think is one of the easiest ways to make a staggered fused Clapton. Now, there are many ways out there to make a staggered Clapton or staggered fused Clapton. There's many techniques. You got finger loops, you got weights, and you got wraparounds, and just whatever. This way here in particular seems easiest for me. I do a variation of the finger loop. I don't necessarily do the loop itself completely, but I use a key ring. I've got my lights on, so it helps me see the wire, and hopefully it'll help in video as well. So the wire you're going to need today is 26 gauge. This is what I'm using, 26 gauge, and I'm using 36 gauge stainless steel 316L and the key ring. Now you can use, I'm using 36 as the Clapton and as the fuse. Now you can use the fuse wire at a smaller diameter, 38, 40, 42, whatever, which I have done, but I found I like it a little better with using the same size wire, fusing and Claptoning. So that's totally your decision. So today we're going to be using the 26 for the core, and we're using 36 for the Clapton and 36 for the fuse. But you can use whatever wire you want. So we just need those wires. We need a pair of wire cutters, of course. We need a pair of scissors. You're going to need a pair of pliers, toothless or non-toothless, it doesn't matter. And then you're going to need the key ring. And a drill, of course. So here's our wire. We're going to set the 26 off to the side for now. First thing we're going to do is take some 36 and we're going to take off about 6 inches or so. Usually one full wrap around the spool is plenty. Now you want to take one end of the wire, stick it through the key ring, and you want to tie a loop around it, making sure the loop is not too big to where you don't want to make the loop too big. You want to make sure your finger can get in there and you can actually stretch and add some attention to this loop as you're Claptoning. So you can either tie it into a knot, twist it up, whatever you got to do to make sure that it's secure. So I usually just do a bunch of twists. I'll fold it over and I'll twist it some more just to kind of anchor it up. And then I will cut off this excess right here. And again, make sure that the loop is not too big to where you cannot, make sure it's not too big, because you want to be able to use your finger, because your fingers will go to the key ring and you want to be applying tension while you're Claptoning. So if you have too big of a loop, you're not going to be able to apply that tension that you need. The knot of the wire needs to stay up here away from the Claptoning section. So put it up here near the key ring. A little pressure right there will kind of bend the wire and keep it in place. And now you have that loop right there. So let's set this off to the side for now. Now we're going to pull out we want to make a dual coil. So we're going to do this, we want to do 5 wrap dual coil on a 3mm bit. So we're going to pull off about 4 strands. We're going to pull off about 3 revolutions of this wire. So 1, 2, 3. Now we want to straighten the wire. A little 90 degree in the end of the wire. Put it in the chuck. Make sure it's in the center. Tighten the chuck down. Take your pliers. Grab the other end of the wire, pull, not too tight, and just spin for about 4 seconds. Now you have perfectly straight wire. Now you want to attach the other end of the wire into your swivel or whatever you're anchoring it into. Twist the wire a couple of times so it's anchored into your swivel, and then stretch your drill out to where it's tight. I should have done this beforehand, but I forgot. I usually do it before I attach the other end of the swivel. But we're going to undo the chuck, and we're going to put this ring wire, this loop, onto the wire. Let's tighten the chuck back down. Again, we want to adjust the knot to where it is at the key ring and not on the Clapton wire. Again, make sure you have tension. So right now we have our little loop right here on the 26 gauge. Gonna be 36 gauge stainless steel. This is your wrap wire. We want to put this through the loop, anchored around the thingamabobber here, the little bend of the wire in the chuck. Then you want to go ahead and do a couple revolutions of this. Get the wire out the way for now. You want to do about 3 or 4 of these to have that space Clapton. Now let's see if I can zoom in to where you can see that. Alright, you see these spaced wires right there? What you want to do is you want to take this wire, put it in the last one, hold tension there, not too much. You do too much, you're going to break that wire. Put your finger in there and adjust the spool to where you have tension on both the spool and the stagger loop. You notice once you start going around, you got that spaced fused Clapton there. Now what I've got here, I've got the cable, the line core going this way and this line going out at a 90-degree angle, and then I have going down here and I got the spool 90-degree angle. Both of them are 90 degrees, going all the way. And once you get a couple revolutions, open it up. Notice here, there's about 6 or 7 inches between where I stopped at the end of the core. We're going to need this extra space, and I'll show you why. So stop short. The big things here you want to remember is you want to reverse the drill, hold the Clapton, and go back about 3 or 4 seconds or so, then let go, let it spring out. You want this Clapton to be fairly loose on the core, which it is. This is going to help you. This needs to adjust while you're fusing it. And once you're finished, go ahead and cut off the core from the swivel, then the core from the chuck. Now what we're going to do, we're going to push this core through. We left so much extra space. We're going to push it to where you got about whatever bare metal you have left, you want about half on either end. And then we're going to cut this whole thing in half. I'm going to say right about here should be half. Boop. That's half. Now, on each of these coils, you want to take the, again, you want to put the bare wire through to where you have enough, even bare wire on either side. You have 2 spaced Claptons side by side. Now, the reason why we left the bare ends on these is we're going to put these both into the chuck. Alright, now remember the bare metal? We're going to put them both in the chuck now. Side by side, parallel them together. The bare metal is going to allow us to adjust these staples now. Keep them side by side and put them up against the chuck, right? Now the other side with the bare metal is going to go into the swivel. Don't run your fingers down it because you'll move the staples or the staged Clapton wire. So just go down and bend out the 2 cores. Just make sure you still have some bare wire from the point where your staged Claptons ends and to where they connect to the swivel, because those Claptons are going to need room to move. They got to adjust themselves. If you have it too tight, it's not going to be able to do anything. It's got to flex. It's metal, you know. It's got to flex and it's got to give and it's got to move. That's why you have a loose wrap on the thing. And then once you have it connected, then Stretch a wire out, make it tight again. All you gotta do is take whatever wire you spaced with. In this case it'll be 36 gauge. This is also your fuse wire. Wrap it around the little angle, like normal for any other Clapton. Put your drill back in the same direction that you Claptoned the thing in. Cut off the excess. And then once you get it in to one of those fuses, pressure is key. I'm squeezing the spool pretty tight. Once you get it in the first groove, and now they have a chance to move, it's fairly easy. I mean, it's the easiest part, because now everything's going to be able to move and flex on what it needs to, and you got it in the groove. Just follow the wire down the spool. There you have it. I'm gonna go ahead and take this off. Like I said, once you get it in the grooves, man, and you have that spacing correct, and you give it some room to flex and move as you're Claptoning it, it's just easy. It falls into space. So let's take this thing off so I can get you some close-up shots. Okay, now that everything's nice and clean, all the gunky whatever may be on there is gone. Let's see what these things ohm out at. I'm going to cover it up 1, 2, 3. Right now it's a 0.12. It should be about a 0.16, 0.17 bill by the time we're done. So let's see if we can get some good colors. Alright, so right now it's still red hot. It's while it's still hot, it's a 0.16. A minute ago it was showing 0.17. It should settle out to about a 0.14. So alright, here we go. Let's wake it up, juice it up, and vape on it. We're going to put it on my funky 160. Alright, so right now it worked out to about a 0.12. It's 0.16 while it was hot, so 0.12 is the final result. I figured it'd raise a little higher, but I forgot I was using stainless steel, so it doesn't raise like Nichrome 80 does normally. And I just recorded I was recording this whole time while I was wicking this, but, well, let me rephrase that. I was talking the whole time I was wicking this, but I just looked up when my camera kicked off. I didn't hit record, so sorry, I don't remember what I said. If it was anything important, I would have remembered, but, it is what it is. You got the gist of how to make this coil. I think it's one of the easiest ways to do it. Once you see this, just hang on, I don't even want to tell you why this coil is so good. Flavor wise, it's like one of the best flavor coils, and the ramp up time on this thing, hardly any ramp up. So I'm going to put some juice on here. What am I going to put on? I'm just going to stick with me. I do my own, this is my Go to Blue. My own juice. I love this stuff. Alright, you want to see? Look at that. It's like the ramp is just So crazy. Such a good coil. And it winds up being a .12. Staggered Fused Clapton. Let's load this up some more. Let's taste it. I haven't used the Peerless in a while. I love the Peerless. I still believe it's one of the best RDAs of 2017. Strictly in my opinion. And it's 20 bucks. You can't beat a $20 RDA that's this fucking great. This badass. So let's take a hit. At 100 watts on a .12. I'm telling you, man, the flavor's phenomenal on these things. All those little pockets and juice pockets in the coils, the staggered fuse part, it's just great. If you're looking for a simple, flavorful, fairly easy build, this is the go-to for sure. Alright, so that's it. I do hope I was helpful in this video, showing you how to do it. A noob trying to teach a noob, perhaps. If you have any other tips that might make it a little better for you, let me know how you do them in the comments. And I do thank you very much for watching. Thank you all for the support. And until next video, just keep on vaping and living, baby. Fucking great.